Welcome back to the Tough Love Podcast with Dr. John O'Connor. Today's podcast is about why and how to pick a business coach. So looking into this, I was thinking to myself, why would I pick a coach? And if I was asking myself looking back, what would be some of the things that I would think about and want to identify in why I need a coach? What's that all about? What does a coach do? And what is the desired outcome you're looking for to hire a business coach? So for me, in the coaching space that I've been in the last couple of years, it's been going really well. The practices that I work with are having some amazing outcomes, but I'm not growing. I wasn't scaling. I wasn't sure how to get out there to help more people to grow and continue to prosper in that space. So I started looking, and what kept popping up on my feed was a coach by the name of Andy Elliott. And when I kept seeing it, I started kind of digging a little deeper. And again, I have my regular guys that I look at, such as Bedros and, Alex Ramosi and, Ed Milet and whatnot. And I know these guys deliver a very high level version of coaching, but you want to pick. I know for me, I ask myself, who would I resonate with? Am I a former pre-law student? Am I somebody that's, a business guy or a gym guy? Or, am I the exercise nut that puts a lot into exercise discipline? And, I picked basically on that because the results for all of them were about the same. And, if for nothing else, Andy's one of the fastest growing in the industry. And, what it really resonated with me, because even though I'm coaching in the healthcare space, the bottom line is, just like I want to be lifted up by the person that's coaching me, I want to be uplifting. I want to bring it to my client and make them feel like they can run through, brick walls, because I'm empowering them and giving them the necessary tools to become what they want to be. Probably one of the best things that I was thinking was, what is the reason you're going to afford or make that investment in a coach? Time. Coaches, if they're good, speed up time, right? And what do I mean? From zero to successful, right? If they know what they're doing, they can take what you saw as a vision and dream and make it a reality. And that's really something that we must take a look at to say, how do we put a value on them? And when I was out in Arizona with my wife, with Jessica, about a month ago, I was sitting there and I was blown away by what Andy was saying, because he has paid some amazing high-level coaches an incredible amount of money to learn from them, to go back to his people that he's coaching and be that much sharper. And so I started thinking the same thing. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm better than these people, but they don't know anything. But I want to be amazing. I want to be able to go at anyone and in 10x what they do. And if I'm going to do that, I have to invest in myself. And that means hiring a coach. Let's dig a little deeper. What would I do if I was looking for a coach? Well, first off, I'd be looking for things like, how many followers do they have? What's their engagement? If they have a business page, look to see if they have testimonials. What do those testimonials say? What part resonates with you? Is it the energy, the compassion, the empathy, the motivational parts, the consistency? Maybe it's all of those. Maybe it's just a few, but it's got to be stuff that strikes a nerve or touches a nerve in you that motivates you to say, that's my guy. That's my lady. That's the one that I think they could get me where I need to go. And I sat on a call. I was blessed. I got to actually have a live call with Andy right before he left for Dubai. And I was sitting there, and the conversation was enormous. Like the largest business conversation I've ever had. And quite frankly, I've wrote checks out for hundreds of thousands of dollars, whether investing or losing. I've never been in something that could be a 7 or 8 figure business like the conversation that I had with him. And it when we finished that conversation and I got off the phone, I saw a glimpse of my future self. And I thought about it and I was like, I could do this. I want to be, the Andy Elliott, if you will, of the healthcare space, where I come in and I teach physical medicine practitioners how to scale their business, or, grow each center and change and break the bonds of, what we're paid for by insurance carriers and those limiting factors, and become limitless. And when I see what I do, when I'm consistent and I run my programs and I do the analysis and I break down all my systems, I'm delivering results. I'm delivering, happy patients that are fulfilled, patients that we met them head on with regards to their complaints, and we achieved what they thought coming in and what they were seeking, which were unattainable goals, and we did it. Now, my goal is to take those and turn those into testimonials to go out to my potential doctors that I want to work with and show, hey guys, I never hire a coach that's never done what I want to do. I need to see that they can understand what it is I'm trying to do and the magnitude, and then also that they can relate to the pains of it as well as the success. And if they're going to teach me, they definitely have had to walk that path before. So all these things come into play when you're sitting there saying, all right, why do you pick a coach? Well, for the most part, I would think that some of the buzzwords that would come up would be stagnant, lack of energy, the lack of desire to keep going and pushing. And, the other thing is obviously a huge driver is that the business isn't producing enough. You're not making enough money, straightforward, right? And I see that in so many instances when I'm talking to practices. I received probably one of the nicest text messages that I've ever received, whether it was going back to being a basketball coach and trainer, or in the 18 to 20,000 patients I've treated, from one of my newest clients out of Arizona. And she said that I have, envisioned you coming for the past 9 years to realize my dream and take my practice to the next level. And I know you can get me there. And I have to tell you, the thing about it is I heard something from, a person that I'm really trying to learn a ton from. And he said, they're lives, not leads. And when this life was brought to my attention as to what she was looking for, I was blown away with my initial conversation. And I realized how important it was that I made sure I stressed and understood her pain points. And probably most importantly, I listened and I let her speak. And one of the biggest things I think you have to do as a coach is be ready to call somebody out, not in a way that intimidates them or embarrasses them, but say, wow, I could see that. I could see where you're hurting, or I see where you lack that confidence. I can help you with that. And, for me, I remember being in that position. I remember having people that were under me, that were on my payroll, that intimidated me, or I wouldn't say the word intimidation. I would say I was fearful of losing them because I would lose momentum in the business. And that's the wrong way to run your business. And, once we started looking at those different pieces, I realized that for us in what I want to do, I don't necessarily have to scale. I'm completely okay with having one super location the way I started, 20 plus years ago with my wife, and doing something similar, just better, more efficient, a greater span of reach, practitioners that are like-minded with regards to using everything from technology to physical medicine to chiropractic to, conditioning and strength and rehab, and creating a new version of healthcare as we see it. And you know what? When you do that and you establish a value, and obviously the number one thing here, you get the results, you're going to grow. And when we talk about what does a coach do in those situations, they teach you how to get it out there. They teach you how to broadcast that. Like, it's amazing how much I'm learning from watching social media of the 5 key influencers that are coaches that are extremely successful businessmen and women, and saying, what can I do every single day to grow? What can I do? What can I eliminate that's holding my growth back? What can I add to accelerate my growth? What can I do to stop having the booby traps that I probably create from mental pathways that I've done most of my adult and professional life that inhibit consistent growth? And when you put all those things together and you have somebody that can help you work through those, now you're creating a formidable power that's going to be hard to stop. As a matter of fact, if you could harness it and you could literally tap into that great day and make that great day every day, then I think any day that ends in a Y, you could be remarkably successful. And, that's my vision. And when I went into the coaching realm, I started listening to so many of these coaches, and now I've made it a point to get out to them, get in front of them, to see if their body language is as convincing as their voice and tonality and how they speak and how they convey their message. And so far, it's been amazing. I've watched guys get on a stage and speak to 400 to 1,000 people in a room and deliver an Emmy award-winning presentation with conviction, energy, laser focus. I mean, you name it, they're nailing it. And so that's what I'm looking for in a coach. So again, today's podcast for me is about, if you're looking to level up and you've just been stagnant for so long, or you're just not growing, don't take it as an insult. You've done nothing wrong. You just haven't been shown yet how to become the best version of yourself. And for me, what I realize is the more I put myself out there, the more I grow. The more I grow, the more I want to put myself out there. And when I get in front of practices, I get so excited to speak to them now because I know I have a superpower that we can harness with them. And it gives me such an opportunity to say, hey, listen, let me show you what I do. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Let me show you some anecdotal stories. And most importantly, the business side of the doctor. Let me show you some analytics that we've calculated to show you what we do and the results that come with it if you choose to go with our company. And I think that that's something that's given me a great level of pride. And, more importantly, that recreation of Doc that used to be seen as the basketball trainer and, this relentless, push somebody's kid and create these super athletes. Now I could do it with businessmen. And instead of it being something that I could do for a few years based on how my physical condition is, I can do this for as long as I want. And as long as I'm motivated to do it and I can deliver a result, my reach is endless. It's, with technology and with everything that's out there, my social media team from Colleen Media, I know that I can reach heights that were unimaginable, a few years ago. And so, again, I'm excited about what is to come for me with regards to coaching. And more importantly, why I think I'm going to realize that is because I hired a coach. Okay. I hired somebody that said, when you're working with them and you don't think you could do it, he'll call you out and say, bullshit, you're not working hard enough. And you know what? At any age, I'm 50 now, and you need to hear that. You're right. If you're not where you want to be, Tony Robbins said, it's amazing how you can shift your mind just like that. The hardest thing is staying there. A lot of people can put in like a New Year's resolution to go to the gym on January 2nd. Talk to me May 2nd if they're still there. Then you see somebody that really wants to change, somebody that really wants to make an impact on themselves. And I think the biggest thing, like if you see me on social media, if you see the new, I guess, posting style I'm doing on my stories, I'm really trying to brand, what the beliefs I have and the mission I have with driving home consistency, focus, determination, recreation. And what do I mean by that? When I was at the Andy Elliott event, he had a book on recreating yourself, like creating the 2.0 version of yourself. And I think everybody needs to do that. I think that is why great coaches retire. I think that's why, huge corporate guys age out, because they get comfortable, they get relaxed. And, it was funny. I made a post the other day. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die, was what really hit me, and it jumped off the page. And it's so true, right? If you have a warm bed and, you have a lover, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, a wife, and you're okay and comfortable with that, you may stop chasing your dreams. The reality is it could be so much more. You could be so much more fulfilled if you take that and you push even further with them. And, that's what this is all about, right? If you're not happy with where you are, you have to look in the mirror, and it starts there, and determine what are those 5 steps? What are those 3 steps? What is the first step to do something? And probably the biggest thing that I see from so many successful people that, they say is just jump, just go, just do it. And, if you want to become great, you can't become anything without starting. And failing is part of it, but you're not failing, you're learning, right? So if you hit a roadblock, it's no different than a map in your car. You take a detour, but you're still going to your destination. It might take a little bit longer, but you're going to get there. Perseverance, determination, consistency, hard work, all those things become the gasoline that allows you to go full throttle to get where you want to go. And so again, when you're picking a coach and you hear me and you hear the energy, if you're somebody like me, then you'd pick a person like me. If you're a little bit more calm, there's somebody out there for it. But let me tell you something. It's the greatest decision I've ever made in the last 10 years was to make a forward push to jump on board with Andy Elliott and learn what he does and learn how he communicates to improve how I deliver the message that I do when I'm teaching. And I'm beyond thankful for the opportunity to, invest in myself. And, it's funny. He said something in one of his podcasts, and it's true. When you become friends with somebody that's got a great reach and a great perspective, you tend to think that it's an exchange, like having a conversation, like being out to dinner. But you're probably going to notice that if you look at your productivity measures, your key performance indicators, you probably go backwards during that time, because you're no longer looking at them as a client, teacher, coach. You're looking at them as a peer, as an equal. And in that moment right there, you just lost your edge. So I'm going to leave it there for today's podcast. That's a lot of information to absorb. And I've listened to this podcast a couple times. I grow. This message grows when you share what we do and what we say. Today is about leveling up, people. I have spoken to so many amazing people, like the guy that I'm going to work out with on Thursday. His name's Gabe, huge fitness professional in the area. And again, one of the things about it is taking these people and creating an inner circle of just monsters. And if you want to grow, then you got to have like-minded monsters around you to run through anything with you. So I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. I hope you want to run through a wall after hearing it and want to change, want to make powerful moves and powerful decisions. Just do it and keep moving forward. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.